What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and welcome to the Awakening World. And boy, are we awakening with some really fascinating phenomena taking place. I want to welcome everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to John and Summer Raymer from the Sign Network for getting us out to as many as 150 groups and pages. Thank you. And of course, much love to our beloved subscribers that are in the Zoom room directly with us. So what are your thoughts about the 3I Atlas interstellar object that's hurtling through our solar system? I'm sure most of you know about it, and if you don't, it's a good thing you're watching the show. Likewise, what are your thoughts about the Buga sphere? Well, we're going to talk a little bit about these extraordinary things that are happening right now, unprecedented, definitely an awakening taking place within all of us. And we've got an all-star group of people here to talk about it. Of course, we had to have Alan Steinfeld from Making Contact with us because he is more in the know about all things, well, making contact than anybody else I know.
I'm just not in the know. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed, Scott. Go ahead.
You are obsessed. That's why you're here, because you've got a lot of good information to share with us. But let me introduce briefly who our other presenters are. You may know him as Swami Beyondananda. Today, we also see him as Steve Bierman, who's a very wise author, as well as the great humorist. And John Martin, who is my role model for how to connect with our galactic family, and one of the most beloved presenters that we ever have on this show. And Omashar is still in England with his mom, but we are really happy to welcome back. Nina Gray is back with us. We haven't been here for a while. She is also one of our all-time favorite musical artists, so it's great to have her with us. And we have a new friend, Andrea Sadler, and you'll enjoy hearing what Andrea has to say. And of course, we have our beloveds Tiara and Desiree, who will be leading the prayer and also sharing some of their insights about tonight's topic. And most of all, we want to hear from you. So if you're in the Zoom room, please give us your thoughts, your comments about what's going on in our awakening world as it relates to these incredible objects. And we are still going to honor our beloved Omashar by playing a video that he provided us. So get ready to move and groove to the music. Here he is, our beloved Omashar.
I've changed like a butterfly. It's something very new. I'm feeling so alive and yes, it's true. Nothing is the same. I'm bigger than before, and yet I know that I am still a child without a care in this new world, and so connected to you. An innocent new life, a heart so true. A dream that seems so far away is living here in me, freeing all the pain that paved the way. The miracle of love has opened up the door. Now I know that I am still a child without a care in this new world, and so connected to you. An innocent new life, a heart so true. My heart is beating once again. I'm feeling so secure, and yet I know that nothing's like before. My mind is now in peace. No need to know the way. And yes, I'm glad that I am still a child without a care in this new world, and so connected to you. An innocent new life, a heart so true. I'm still a child without a care in this new world, and so connected to you. An innocent and deep and pure and true.
Let's just all send love to beloved Omashar and his mother, who's getting ready to leave her body. Just appreciating him. He's such a big part of Global Peace Tribe, and sending him love for his time with his mother, his final time with his mother, probably, and a safe return. We'll be back in about 10 days. All right. Alan Steinfeld, I'm going to pin you for a moment.
Okay.
And I'd love for you to introduce to the audience, anybody who doesn't know, a little bit, what is 3i Atlas?
Well, it's not your third eye, although I was going to ask Swami, what happens when your third eye gets lost in space, Swami? That's what we're looking at here. So 3i Atlas, I stands for interstellar. This is the third interstellar object that we've detected. I'm sure there's been millions of interstellars. Interstellar means it's not of our solar system. So this is a huge rock, comet, spaceship, who knows, as traveling on the solar plane that we are all the planets that revolve around the sun are on a plane, and this thing is coming into the same plane. I mean, you could be above and below. This is on the same level plane as the planets of the solar system. So that was the first suspicion that maybe this was more than just a regular comet. And so the professor at Harvard of astronomy, Avi Loeb, who identified the first interstellar object called Uameamea and wrote a whole thesis that that may be some ship, but not a regular asteroid because it had some unusual features, is now really up on the story. That was in 2017. This object, the third one to come through, is huge. It's not a regular comet. There's a million clickbait things on the internet saying it's a spaceship. They're going to, land on the Earth. I mean, I think it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, a lot of people tune in psychically, but all we know now, it's a huge rock the size of Manhattan, like 13 miles long, that is right now just past the sun and sort of heading out of our solar system. But because we're coming around in our revolution around the sun, is going to, in the middle of December, we're going to get the best look at it as it travels out of our solar system past Jupiter. So third eye is the third interstellar, not the thing, your pituitary gland. But
and there's all sorts of extraordinary phenomena about it. It keeps changing its flight path. It's not a traditional comet trajectory. It's defying a lot of what we've known previously about comets. And when it went past the sun, when it was closest to the sun, instead of it getting hotter, it actually cooled down. It changed colors. It emitted a blue color. It's really quite extraordinary.
But Scott, it just shows us, I mean, it does a lot of things, and we'll talk about that, but it shows us we don't know that much about the universe we're living in. I think Terence McKenna said, the universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it's stranger than we can imagine. Right. So we have an object that we haven't encountered before. So the go-to mythological minds of humans is, let's call it a spaceship. It may be, according to Avi Loeb, but I think it probably is just a sort of object we have not seen before. And there's billions of these unusual things that we are going to encounter as we look more into space. Two things this does do for us as a planetary civilization. It makes us wonder about life in a real, more popular global way. Is there life out there? And it makes us more aware of looking up. There was that movie, Don't Look Up. Well, we're looking up because, these things, I mean, something like this probably wiped out the dinosaurs. And, we need to watch the neighborhood we're traveling around in, basically, and see maybe, something's going to come this way. I don't think so. I think we're being protected, but we do have to watch what's out there, because we are part of an environment that's not just over Earth. We are part of a solar ecology and a galactic ecology, and it's a kind of dance and resonance that's happening all the time, because Earth is it's one of my favorite planets, but we are in a bigger ecology, and we just have to be ecologically aware of everything around us. Like when a storm is coming, you take preparation. So this is preparing us for greater unknowns as we actually move, I think, into the Aquarian age. So
I agree with you. And we're going to hear a lot more from Alan. I'm going to play a couple of videos. Avi Loeb he's a Harvard professor, and he's become kind of the main guy talking about this. And you can find all sorts of videos on Avi Loeb. But of course, our intrepid Alan Steinfeld was one of the first people to interview him. So let's hear a little bit. This is just a very quick clip of Avi Loeb, just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what's happening. And this is from Alan, who interviewed him himself. So let's take a look.
Around the sun. And that is a very good path, because it can release.
Go back to the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah. because he says a really important thing in the beginning. Oh no.
You know what people
Oh, no,
don't
no,
understand
there.
is the name, first of all.
I think there's a beginning of the tape even before this. I'm talking to Neil Gar here. And I said,
well, let me go back.
You
You
want
want
me
to
to
do
play
that?
it?
Hang on a second, Alan. Let me find it. See, in what you sent,
it should be the beginning of that.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, great.
Other possibility is that it's a mothership that releases probe that will come close to Earth or close to other planets, because it moves on a retrograde trajectory.
Can't see the video,
the
Scott.
motion of the planets around the sun. And
Oh, I didn't probably screen share. Well, my gosh, I'm just having all sorts of trouble here. Let's try one more time.
Maybe it's the object affecting your consciousness.
That's right. My God, it's 3i Atlas. It doesn't want me to show it to my audience. Right, here we go.
Go ahead. This is the beginning.
Is that the very beginning? Yeah.
Yes, click play there below. Yeah, just click the arrow below that. You see the arrow?
That's the thing, is I'm not seeing the arrow.
The triangle. I see it on my screen. It's right. I see it. It's right below the name.
Close to Earth or close to other planets, because it moves on a retrograde trajectory that is opposite to the motion of the planets around the sun. And that is a very good path, because it can release probes that will not need to chase planets. They will just run into planets.
Beginning of that's my little intro. He says in the beginning of the clip, this may be some kind of craft because it's so unusual. I've never seen anything like this before, and it has a strange retrograde trajectory on the solar plane. But it might not be. My tendency is to think it is just an object that we have not experienced before, and the universe is full of that. Although when I did remote view it, I did sense there was some sort of mechanism in it. So
okay, well, let's save it for the Q&A. Save it. We're going to get there. I do want to play a little bit about this other extraordinary object, which is being called the Buga sphere. It was literally seen flying around. It hit a power line in South America, came down to the ground. Somebody got a hold of it, and it's being studied by all the top. It's now at the University of Georgia, where all the top physicists and people who know about these things have been studying it. And for those of you who don't know about the Buga sphere, here's just again a brief little introduction about it.
If you saw our first video on the mysterious Buga sphere, you know this story shocked the world. Today we have brand new updates about what experts have discovered, and the mystery is only getting deeper. Quick recap. In March 2025, locals in Buga, Colombia, filmed a metallic orb hovering and landing in a field. It was soon transported to Mexico for analysis by investigative journalist Jaime Maussan. Now here's what's new. X-rays and CT scans confirm the sphere has 3 metal layers and up to 18 smaller spheres inside. It's perfectly smooth, with no welds or seams. Researchers also discovered fiber optic-like filaments embedded around its equator and detected a low-frequency signal at about 2.3 Hz. And the surface? It features glyphs resembling ancient Ogham and Mesopotamian scripts, possibly forming a message about unity and caring for Earth. The original witness reported bizarre effects, nausea, headaches, even his phone malfunctioning. He claims water poured on the sphere instantly vaporized. There are also reports the object's weight changes over time. Of course, skeptics believe it could be a hoax or an elaborate art piece. Experts are calling for independent, peer-reviewed studies before making any claims of alien origin. More tests are underway, including advanced material analysis. So, what do you think? Alien technology or human ingenuity? Stay tuned for more updates.
I'm going to go to one more little clip about the Buga sphere. And I think you will recognize this gentleman in the clip.
Greer's official report is in. Carbon-14 dating is conclusive. The Buga sphere is 12,560 years old. Independent labs confirm a non-terrestrial aluminum alloy. The composition matches no known material on Earth. Embedded within are fiber optic structures, a form of 3D printing far beyond our own technology. The symbols have been decoded, a Proto-Sanskrit warning referencing a cosmic event that destabilized Earth's climate at the end of the last ice age. Greer now links its reactivation to new magnetic field anomalies, suggesting this is not a single object, but a prehistoric early warning network. We are looking at a message from a civilization that mastered metals, optics, and energy before our history began.
So apparently, they actually captured real alien technology in Colombia, and it's all on video. You know those orb UFOs we've been seeing zipping around in faraway, blurry, shaky phone cam footage? Well, they caught one, or so they say, after it fell from the sky after getting shocked by a power line. Called the Buga sphere, observed by multiple witnesses and recovered by a group of amateurs near Buga, Colombia. And it was all caught on camera by two separate individuals, from it flying around before falling to the ground to them actually walking up to it, which honestly looks pretty convincing. They claimed the sphere was freezing cold to the touch when they first picked it up, and that one of them also got very sick for days after touching it. It weighed about 4.5 pounds when they first recovered it, but after taking it to a lab, it somehow weighed closer to 22 pounds, about 5 times heavier. It's engraved with all these crazy looking designs, symbols, and grooves that go all around it. On the front, there's a particular pattern that looks like a circuit board, surrounded by what appear to be characters in an unknown language. When using AI to translate it, it read, "The origin of birth through union and energy in the cycle of transformation, meeting point of unity, expansion, and consciousness, individual consciousness." Okay, take that with a grain of salt. Among the researchers in the independent lab that took it in for study was X-ray radiologist Jose Luis Velasquez, who performed a series of in-depth scans on it, and he found out just how impressive this object really is. The scans determined the sphere is made of 3 very dense layers, has a chip-like core on the inside with perfect internal symmetry, and has 18 tiny microspheres inside of it as well that happen to align with the circuit board pattern on the outside, which ufologists are claiming is what powers the device's anti-gravity, possibly a zero-point energy propulsion system. 32 dots align the grooves that surround the entire sphere, which appear to have been drilled out from the inside. Despite it having no signs of welding, joints, or seams anywhere along its surface, yet appears to be a completely homogeneous object, which is just impressive engineering by any means. It was also measured as emitting its own electromagnetic field, and its surface temperature was unusually variable, going up and down at all times. It also didn't react to heat, neither scorching nor even getting hotter when they put a blowtorch to it, and when they poured water on it, it evaporated while staying completely cool to the touch. Rumors went around that Russia contacted the team in possession of the sphere with an offer to purchase it, before it was sent to Mexican authorities, who allegedly now have possession of it and are studying it further. We do know for sure it's an artificial object, whether it be man-made or extraterrestrial made. And obviously the internet is in an uproar, absolutely insisting this is just another hoax. I just think it's funny that when we get blurry, shaky cam UFO videos, skeptics claim it's inconclusive and demand high quality footage, but whenever we do get tangible, conclusive, and up-close evidence like this, the same people call it fake. Which, hey, it very well might be, but man, I really hope it's not. So apparently, they actually captured real alien technology in Colombia, and it's all on video. You know those orb...
Pretty interesting, don't you think? So that's why we're doing an entire show on this. Again, my inspiration for the show began with Carolyn Bouillard, who is been on the show many times. We really love Carolyn. And I am going to play a pre-recorded interview that I did with her a couple days ago, which kind of sets the tone for what we're going to be talking about. Of course, Alan already gave some wonderful insights, but then we're going to open up to you. I'm going to want to see what you guys are saying in the chat box, and we're going to hear from all of our presenters in a whole roundtable conversation that's going to be really the majority of tonight's show. But let's start by hearing what Carolyn Bouillard had to say. So one of my favorite people that I read on Substack is Carolyn Bouillard, who's been on the show a few times. And I think many of us have been following Atlas, the 3I Atlas. What is it? Is it a comet? Is it extraterrestrial? And I am a subscriber on her Substack. And she wrote an article that just really resonated with me. And in fact, it was that article that initiated my desire to do the show. Like, what are these extraordinary signs that are taking place, whether it's astrology, whether it's the Iberian Lynx, whether it's the Buga or the 3I Atlas. And I really like Carolyn's perspective. So welcome back to the Awakening World. And I'm glad you were able to make a little time for us to at least do a pre-record, since your thoughts were the inspiration for the show. So Carolyn, tell us how you see it.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Scott. It's always a pleasure to be here. And hi, everyone. I'm sorry I can't be with you live, but happy to share some thoughts. Yeah, honestly, I hadn't paid too much attention to 3i Atlas, but some people approached me for my thoughts, and it was a good opportunity for me to kind of check in energetically and see what wanted to come through. And ironically, I think that's one of the big gifts and opportunities and invitations of 3i Atlas and some of these other things that you mentioned. Some of the most interesting questions that I think these things like 3i Atlas raise are the ones that science can't answer or are ill-equipped to answer. You know, things like 3i Atlas, to me, in my perspective, they exist kind of across multiple dimensions simultaneously. There's and I mean that in the grander dimensional sense, but just also that there's so many different aspects to this. There's the sort of hard science thing. Is it a comet? How is it behaving? What are its elements and composition? But I'm more interested and fascinated by why it's here and what it represents for us. So as I discussed in the article, and as you mentioned, I think we are at a critical threshold in our evolutionary journey. And I think 3i Atlas is arriving as a kind of support system, as a kind of late stage infusion of energy to sort of push us over the finish line. As I was tapping in today, what came to me was kind of like a video game. It's like, you're going along, you're playing the game, and you're building skill, you're earning points. And then when you have enough points, there's certain tools or powers that become available to you that equip you for the next levels or the next stage of your journey. And to me, 3i Atlas has that feeling. It's like this delivery of light. Some people have spoken that there's some activations in our DNA, but I think there's also just a really rich psychological process where it's mirroring back to us. It's mysterious enough that we really don't know what it is, so we're left to fill in the gaps. And it's like, okay, like, what does this evoke from us? There's this object speeding through our system. We know very little about it. People can ask, am I afraid? What worries do I have? Am I hopeful? What stories am I telling myself? What are we not hearing from the government and people? And what does that reveal about the control structures on our planet? And so coming back to the earlier point, I think the real sort of opportunity here is to trust yourself and connect with that energy directly, to not rely on intermediaries, but to kind of collapse. It's ironic, but I think this interstellar object way out in space is inviting us to collapse the distance and really see ourselves as these multidimensional energetic beings that are in communication with things like 3i Atlas, and maybe even called them in as that kind of support.
That's a beautiful perspective. And, we were talking about this just before we recorded, that any mystical experience ultimately comes down to, what do you choose to believe? What do we choose to believe? We don't have video evidence that there was a Jesus. And so what do you choose to believe? And obviously, a lot of people have chosen to believe he was just a prophet. Many have chosen to believe he was the Messiah. Then what does that actually mean? And then others believe that he never existed. And there is no hardcore proof. It's a matter of, what do we believe and why do we choose to believe it? Kind of similar when I work with people that have past life memories or even dream interpretation. Well, what's your interpretation? And what does your interpretation show you about the way you choose to see the world?
Right. Yeah, I think it's Three Eye Atlas is largely functioning as a mirror, both individually and for our collective subconscious. And so I think that is something to place our attention on. Like I said, what is it evoking from us? And where can we turn what might be a mirror into a window? And so part of what made it significant in my journey is, I've been working on enhancing my own channeling, psychic, just intuitive capabilities. And so it was really just sort of an experiment of like, okay, let's see what happens if we sit down on the couch, enter an altered state of consciousness, which I'm fairly practiced at now, and see what comes through. And like you said, I'm not here to tell anyone I have the definitive answers. I also don't have proof. I just have how it felt to me. And to me, it was overwhelmingly supportive, welcoming. It was sort of a homecoming, and it opened up lots of other questions, like, where do we find intelligence? Like, what does it suggest about our reality that a flying ball of dust and gas could actually have an intelligence and be interacting with us and guiding, and it be its own form of consciousness? And that's really what I was kind of picking up on, is the sense that it was alive in some way. Not like if you cut it, it'll bleed kind of thing,
Right.
but like, it's a amalgamation, a form of kind of a collective consciousness that is both being guided, but also like interacting in the moment, its own sort of creation of that volunteered, of those who volunteered to be part of that. And so it really opened up these big questions for me too. It's like, well, why couldn't that be the case? As a form of consciousness, when we are creating our physical reality, might some consciousness out there wonder what it's like to be a comet traveling past a planet of people who are just now waking up? Like, that might be pretty cool.
I love that perspective. I love that.
Yeah. And
And
so we can really like use Three Eye Atlas to start thinking really outside the box. And that's partly why I wanted to write that article, is like, yeah, we can talk about its tail and its non-gravitational acceleration and all of this, or we can just really blow the box wide open and start thinking, asking big questions about consciousness, intelligence, physical reality, and all sorts of things.
I love that. And, because now millions, probably hundreds of millions of people are thinking about it, how are we influencing that being? Let's just call it a being of some form. I mean, it's influencing us, but like you said, in a sacred mirror, it's two-way. How is all of our attention influencing it?
Yeah, well, it would make sense to me that it would. Well, I loved, somebody commented on my article that he sat down and he's like, I've never done this before, but I'm gonna meditate on this, and had an experience. And we may be able to get some clues or indications depending on what happens when it comes closer to Earth. So it's expected to reach its closest point to Earth, which is still quite far. So anybody who's telling you that you should be worried about it,
Yeah, that's
I
not
would take
happening.
that with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But that's around the winter solstice. And to your earlier point as well, I there's so much that's happening now. If you look at the astrology, and I personally believe in the photon belt that we're traveling through, it's like everything is engineered in sorts, not in a predetermined way, but in a we are interacting with our environment and drawing to ourselves the support we need to get over this hump so that we can continue our evolutionary journey.
Absolutely. And yeah, December 19th is the date that
Yeah.
will be closest, which happens to be right at the winter solstice.
Yeah.
So that is kind of a cool coincidence.
Right.
Well, now you're kind of the alpha and omega of this program because it was your article that inspired the entire show. And I'm going to kind of pretty much start the show by showing this video. But then we're going to conclude the show. We're going to come back to Carolyn, who is going to lead a meditation that will give us all an opportunity to kind of conclude by dropping in and seeing what our experience is going to be. So, but I want to remind everybody that you can find Carolyn the way that I do on her Substack page, and it's called The Galactic Age. Perfect for Carolyn. All about consciousness, reality, and our cosmic kin, rethinking physical reality in this coming age of contact. And she has a lot of really fascinating articles. I actually got pulled into reading her perspective about a very thorough about the Malaysian Airlines disappearance. Boy, that was a thorough article.
I really went down the rabbit hole on that one.
You sure did. Yeah, that's a small book. But there's a lot of really fascinating things. Of course, there you can see some of the articles that she's written. And when you change and others don't, that was another really good one. As a love coach, I could relate to that. So I want to encourage everybody to do what I've done. Subscribe to Carolyn's Substack, and it's The Galactic Age. And we'll be back with Carolyn at the end of the show. Hey, I look like the guy who was just in the video. So in a moment, I'm going to bring up our panelists, our presenters, to hear their thoughts. But I'm going to start by reading some of the comments that have come in to the Zoom room. And you guys can continue to please put in your comments. Dr. Laura writes, I have tapped into 3-Eye Atlas, and I feel it is very, very old. It's a messenger. It will be eventually seen as proof that God, or we could call it the cosmos, has been anticipating the ascension of Mother Gaia and humanity for a long time. I like that perspective. That's a good one. Susan Bloomquist just wrote 3-Eye Atlas and the other objects are causing people to question the reality that we've been told. Absolutely, Susan. And yes, Jasmine Bear agrees. Joanna Joy from Ecuador writes, 3-Eye Atlas, an interstellar comet and cosmic messenger, a galactic emissary symbolizing the arrival of the cosmic stranger within. It could be viewed as luminous echo of distant worlds and potential multi-dimensional realities. Well done. She also writes, Dorina also writes about the Buga sphere, a mysterious earthly artifact of alien origin mirroring the mystery of foreign codes. Both can cause spiritual insights and awaken deep soul memory and invite integration of visitor codes. In other words, the awakening of our latent inner wisdom. Carol writes, we need to welcome it with open arms and seek its intelligence. Angelica uses one of my favorite words. I use this word a lot as a coach, alila. It's a Sanskrit word. It means divine play. So this is a Leela happening for us. George Noble writes, a lot of us have asked and even prayed for some help from the ETs. Maybe this is that. And so on and so forth. Many, many other comments, but those were some good ones to get us started. And I'm going to bring up all of our presenters. Now, many of you know him as the brilliant, humorous Swami Beyondananda, but you may not know that our beloved Steve Bierman is also actually a really bright guy. He wrote a book with
Bruce Lipton.
Thank you very much. Bruce
Cousin
Lipton,
Brucey.
who's no mental slouch, all about reality. So it's good to have Steve here and to hear his wisdom. John Martin is with us, and John at night goes out, he talks to the stars, he plays his guitar to them, and we're going to hear some guitar and see some video footage from John tonight. So John, I'm eager to hear what you have to say about this. And our new friend, Andrea Sadler, I'll put her bio into the chat box so you guys can get to know her a little bit. But she's got some really interesting perspectives, and she's been watching our show for a little while, and I wanted to invite her to be part of tonight's conversation. And Nina Gray is more than just a great musical artist. She sort of has some thoughts, and she may want to share what's going on for her. And then, of course, Diara and Desiree, you are welcome to share your thoughts. And of course, I will bring back our making contact expert, Mr. Steinfeld. But, first, I'd love to hear from you, John, because you probably have the most contact with Galactic Family. And what are some of your initial thoughts about the Bugosphere or about Atlas 3, about 3i Atlas?
Yeah, I interact with our star family. I just came from outside and had a beautiful experience with them just a few minutes ago. And I guess the biggest thing that I would like to say is that they're here now. They're not, we don't have to look into the intergalactic space. They are literally here with us now. And we can interact with them on any level that we're comfortable with. And when you do that, they will answer. I go out and I introduce myself to the universe. Hi, I'm John Martin. I'm the guitarist that's played for you so many times. I'm friends with President Carter and Scott Thomas and Alan Steinfeld and Whitley Strieber. And I just share all the people that are important to me in this field, and I share with them my life and what's going on, the challenges that I have. And Scott, they will send me the most beautiful energy, and they'll create these lovely, I call them aeroglyphs, and they're beautiful creations in the sky that they make that are specific to me. And the video that I made for you just really explores that more than I've really ever done with you before. And I think the Bugosphere I'm very interested in, because if you look at the what was been etched into the exterior are the crescents. And as I've said here many times, when I began playing guitar and projecting into the universe, that's when the cross and crescent shaped craft came, the size of office buildings, over my home. And at the same time in England, there were cross and crescent shaped crop circles. And you see that throughout the world. So they're sending us messages. And, when the cross and crescent came over, I had my camera and I was fumbling with it. And they said, please don't take our picture. We'll give you something you can take a picture of. And that's when they made my beautiful heart-shaped cloud. That was the first gift that they gave to me. They've done that many times. So they're incredibly talented in their artistic abilities, and they show their love and care for us. And so I would encourage everyone, take the time to go outside and explore your own creativity with the universe, and you will be absolutely amazed at how the universe will respond in beautiful and positive ways. And that's what I think the Buga has to offer us. I see the uh, flying orbs and craft and all kinds of different. I've had in the video, not the video really, but the pictures that I've created here in the presentation later, you'll see a higher dimensional being that's come through a portal. And there's like 5 pictures of that. And that was early on in my experience. And I looked away and I was wondering why I did that. And I just wasn't quite ready for that full experience. And then that night I went to the park and a golden energy came down to treetop level, and I apologized. I said, I'm really sorry I wasn't able to give that beautiful energy the time it deserved, and it expanded many, many times, understanding this is a challenge for us. And we have to expand our spirits to incorporate the universe into our lives. And that's the potential we have here, Scott.
Thank you, John. I'm always grateful for your presence in our awakening world. And we'll hear more from John and see his video a little bit later on. Well, I'm going to introduce a new friend. This is Andrea Sadler. And she is definitely a multi-dimensional Renaissance woman. She's a transformational coach, a filmmaker, a past life regressionist, a somatic breathwork facilitator, an actress, and many, many more elements. She's made a film. And Andrea, as an intelligent woman who is an explorer of consciousness, what are your thoughts about the Buga, about Three-Eye Atlas, and what's happening in our awakening world here?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I'm very honored, grateful, and excited to be here because I am completely fascinated about Three-Eye Atlas. I'm a 6-planet stellium Aquarian, and I've often fantasized that I come from Andromeda because I don't really relate to what we do on Earth. And I know I didn't come here to shop and watch TV. I was told by an astrologer when I was like, what do? I have all these passions. What should I do? What should I focus on? And she said, well, you're a stellium Aquarian. You came here to raise consciousness. So that made a lot of sense because I was in the middle of making a documentary film about peace and environmental awareness with Indigenous people. And I did hear in a video that Three-Eye Atlas might have come from Andromeda, which is our sister galaxy. So who knows? Maybe I am from there. But when I think about Three-Eye Atlas, what really excites me is how it connects to something that so many cultures have remembered in their own way, that we're not just beings of Earth, we're beings of the stars, and we are made of stardust. And I've always been more interested in transformation of consciousness, transcending suffering, and that which we cannot see, such as energy, love, compassion, intuition, access to the unified field. And I just want to share during one of the darkest time in my life, when I was making my film, The Sacred Run, The Lotus and the Feather, about the message of the interconnection of all life, I was trying to get funding, and the National Film Board actually said in Canada, I'm from Canada, said Mother Earth and subjects about Native people are passé. And I was gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe at how many people laughed at me for making this film about peace and the interconnection of all life. And I went into a deep depression and my own deconstruction, reconstruction, healing journey. But all I kept thinking was, I want to return to the stars. People don't get the message, this ancient message that the indigenous people are sharing with us. And I just don't really fit in here. And I was in a depression and I went to the doctor to see if I needed antidepressants, even though I didn't want them. He told me to read the book, The Power of Now. Something that happened in The Power of Now was about honoring the emotions, allowing emotions to come through, because I'm a Pisces moon and I feel everything. So I thought that feeling emotion made me weak, when in fact it's my superpower. And I allowed myself to cry on this screened-in porch outside for hours about myself, the planet, the world, every being on the planet. And then I had this really strange experience where I started traveling through space, like really fast. I was speeding through the cosmos and I could see stars and planets whipping by. And then I exploded and I felt this ecstatic bliss of oneness. And I've never been depressed again. And so I feel very much that that a three-eye atlas and the Buga are connected to our ancient ancestors that are from the sky. And across the world, there are stories that our ancestors came from the heavens. The Dogon of Mali speak of the Nomo, who descended from the star Sirius, bringing wisdom and balance. In the Hindu Vedas, gods and sages traveled in radiant sky chariots. They were vehicles of light that bridged heaven and earth. Many indigenous and aboriginal people say their ancestors came from the Pleiades, the seven sisters, through holes in the sky. And then there's the mystical tradition of the Kabbalah, where your light body is the Merkaba. It's called the Merkaba, and it's how we travel. And the Lakota people also speak of coming from the stars and returning to the stars. And they talk about the Hopi people spoke about the blue star Kachina. And I've been studying these prophecies since I was in my early, like 21, when I was 21 years old. I'm 63 now, so I've been interested in this for a very long time. And when the Hopi tells of the blue star Kachina, when the blue star Kachina returns, it's a time of a great awakening and it signals a great purification. And the Hopi, I don't know if you want me to go in more detail about that, but um, just that we're in the fourth world right now. There have been three other worlds, and we were originally seeded by stars and star beings. So there were many prophecies that have come true with the Hopi prophecy. They would talk of spider webs in the sky and the iron horses and the bombing the world, the nuclear bombing. And we are currently at the end of the fourth world. And I truly believe that we are at the end of the fourth world. And how we go through this great purification because is up to us. If we stay centered in our hearts, if we stay connected to Mother Earth and Spirit Source, and we align our energy to connect with Father and Mother, then we will be guided. I've been practicing meditation since I was 21 because I knew that we were going to be going through this time now astrologically because I read about it when I was 21 years old. And the blue star Kachina is the ninth and final sign preceding the day of purification and the birth of the fifth world. And the fifth world is a time of harmony. And it's up to us to bring that about, but we're also being helped by our star sisters and star brothers. And I believe that this three-eye atlas is like a sentient, we don't know, right? But I think it's interesting that it could be connected to prophecy of the blue star Kachina and the return and the Buga, the fact that it's 12,500 years old is fascinating because that's the half cycle of the great year, which is 26,000 years. And in 2012, we were in the center, and now we're going through another cycle like a figure 8, and we're in the cycle of ascension. We just left the Kali Yuga in March this year, and the half cycle was last year, December 21st, 2024. And then this three-eye atlas is coming on, around that time this year. I think it's so exciting, and I think we really need to pay attention to what this is. It could be a ship. It could just be a sentient conscious, who knows? We don't know, but I am fascinated. So
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Of course, we're going to hear much more from Andrea. And quite a few people who talk about how The Power of Now was a meaningful book for them. I think it is one of those books that when we're ready to wake up, there are certain books like Power of Now, Autobiography of a Yogi, certain just classics that help us to awaken. So thank you so much. And I love what she shared. Wouldn't that be cool? You know, she mentioned the possibility of Three-Eye Atlas being connected to the blue Kachina. Well, it did turn blue. That's one of the anomalies of what happened. When it went by the sun, it changed colors and turned blue. So I personally think that's a beautiful idea. Let's hear what Steve Behrman has to say about all of this. Hey,
Well,
Steve.
I'm pretty very unstudied in this area, very unstudied. And I'm a fairly earthbound character, believe it or not. So I'm seeing it a little differently than everybody else. I certainly appreciate all this, intergalactic and this larger perspective. But I'm looking at our where we are right now as the so-called civilization. And one of the things that we are coming to the end of, or we need to, is the paradigm of scientific materialism, which indicates that only the material world is real. And in spite of all of these things that are happening, in spite of all of these great mysteries and anomalies and uh, breaking through the membranes of, not to mention the women brains and the men brains, the brains breaking through the mental structures of our civilization, all of these mysteries are coming full bore. And when I think about these two phenomena, I think about the transformation from thinking of energy as a power of force and a power of scarcity and a physical E equals MC square. We're still, I'm sorry, not that. I mean, E equals MC square is the expansion that our civilization has not yet expanded to. We're still living in a Newtonian world. We're still living in a world where we believe, I mean, the mainstream press and the mainstream narrative is that only the physical world is real. If you believe in anything else beyond that, then it's either fantasy or superstition. And I think that we are about to, that this experience that everybody is talking about right now is there is a reaching out from human beings to find this dimension that we've lost or maybe have never had, this spiritual heart connection. And so right now we're at the point where the other thing that's happening, of course, is AI, right? The artificial intelligence, and that we're looking for the real intelligence that will help us use the artificial stuff wisely. And so we may be looking for help from our intergalactic brothers and sisters and so on. But I think really this is the human consciousness is ready to burst from the limits that's been placed on it by the culture and civilization that we're living in right now. So I think these areas of fascination and curiosity will eventually create the breakthrough where we do have the dream of free energy, quote unquote, 0 point energy, where we're not looking at this world of scarcity, or as we would call it, scarcity, which creates all of this fear. And instead, we will have a world of abundance where we actually get up off of our assets and start dancing together. So I'm looking forward to how these things play out. And you'll hear from the Swami later.
Awesome. Looking forward. Thank you, Steve. Well, since you're talking about abundance, it's time for some music. And I'm really grateful. When I reached out to Nina Gray, I was really hoping she'd be available. And to all of our blessings, she said yes. But before she blesses us with song, Nina, what are your thoughts about tonight's topic?
Oh, well, so grateful to be present to this topic, be present at this time, to be with you. Thank you. I too was unstudied about these beings, presences, phenomena in our galaxy. So to enter this space and hear about it and feel the resonance with what they could be is really invigorating because many reasons, but I think for me the strongest is witnessing and perceiving so much global insanity. Often it seems like the only logical step is a quantum leap in our consciousness. So in some ways this feels completely right on time as the swirling world of fear and scarcity and cruelty and suffering is swelling as two on this planet of duality. Could the consciousness of deep, compassionate, expansive, blow open your soul love and presence and existence also be seating itself here? So I'm enthused and I'm grateful to see a very logical next step for us in embracing this swelling of expansion that is before us. So yeah, I would love to share a song too.
I would love that too. Yeah. So
One go ahead.
no, it's just great to have you back. It's really great.
It's great to be here. It's great to be here. And in all, I get New York Times updates in my phone. I pass people by and, there's so many conversations and exchanges that are rooted in playing into the energetics that are being regurgitated that don't actually feel so good. And it always feels so good to be here in the possibility and the nature of our true love and remembering where we came from and what we're capable of. So thank you for holding a space open for all of it, every week.
Absolutely. All right. And we get to hear some Nina music. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got to talk with a dear friend, Steve Knight, in Colorado today. And a few years back, we went out to the mountains and we said, let's go catch ourselves a song. And given the topic of tonight's Global Peace Tribe Saturday Night Alive, this song, Cathedral Skies, feels as an ode to the unknown and the presence for what lies within and on this earth when we tap into the beauty of the natural love frequency that's seated on this planet and also in the cosmos. So this one's called Cathedral Skies. Seated at the base of your majesty, oh mama, you always take my breath from me. Eyes are wide, swimming in your reverie. Pressed against your windows, where I wanna be. These peaks of white, these flowers of gold, this rocky high, singing to my soul. We don't need time, we don't need much. We got everything we need in front of us, beneath cathedral skies, cathedral skies, cathedral skies, cathedral skies. Walking through your valleys, I'm overcome. So I sit to rest my body on your dirty stone. the shades of your evergreens. Well, I pause just long enough to hear them whispering. May you be still, may you be bold, may you stay wild and open to the unknown. May you know truth and show more than you tell. May you plant the seeds of love and sow them well beneath cathedral skies. Cathedral skies. Cathedral skies. Cathedral skies. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good to hear your voice again. So good.
So good to share it here and be with you. Thank you.
I put it into the chat box for everybody watching on Facebook. You can find all things Nina Gray on her website, which is her name, www.ninagray, spelled GRAE.com, NINAGRAE.com. And she's got videos and all sorts of good stuff. And we'll take a look a little bit more at the website. She'll be back with us in a little while.
Thanks, Scott.
Well, I want to go back to Alan Steinfeld because he is our making contact guy. And then we'll also hear from some of the other presenters. But now that you've had a chance to read some of the things, are you taking your clothes off already, Alan?
No, I'm just, it's getting to be winter here. But anyway, we are moving into a whole new reality. That's why I call my show New Reality. But the world is different. We're realizing we're part of a galaxy. We're moving into a time of a Homo galacticus, where we are humans of the galaxy or the universe. Where the world we thought we lived in, because of UFOs, because of the work that John Martin, Whitley Strieber, and everyone is connecting to a vaster cosmos, and we are waking up as a planetary civilization to realize we are part of this bigger thing. And yes, we have to honor the earth because that's our home, that's our bodies, but this earth is in relationship, and you know about relationships, Scott, to other planetary systems, other parts of its extended self. So this is what we're learning about are waking up to be caretakers of the planet and realize that our job is to interface with these other objects and not always jump to conclusions like we're being invaded or this. As Avi Loeb says, let's just watch it unfold. He's actually still waiting on the pictures that were taken of this object from the Mars rover, which was the best shot we had so far, but he says he can't access it because of the government shutdown. So there's things that we are being prepared for, in our own psyche, to wake up to the world that we really exist in, that we aren't alone in the universe, that actually they just found all these undersea ships and objects, and they found these other things that had been circling the earth. This woman, Beatrice, who just gave a talk at the Soul Foundation, talked about these looked like stars that were there 10 years ago, and now they're not there. So we are being watched. We are being, hopefully helped along, but they're not going to solve our problems for us. They're not going to end our wars. They're not going to clean up our planet. It's like your mother used to say, you're not going to get any visitors until you clean up your room. We have to clean up our room to get out and out visitors. I'm sure Swami appreciates that. But this is a new time, and it's a fascinating time. It's an exciting time. And we just have to kind of try to get along with each other to create the oneness of consciousness that will allow us to really interact with other onenesses so we can form the next level of superorganism. This is something that Bruce Lipton said. We're not humans until we create humanity. That's when we realize we're all part of the same global consciousness. That is the superorganism of humanity. And when we form that solidity or that oneness of being, like all the cells in your body, then we can start to form the next level where we're realizing we're part of the oneness of other planetary civilizations. So this is a progression of our evolution. One more thing I want to say, when the first interstellar object appeared in 2017, it was called Uameamea, which meant first scout. It was a few months later that the New York Times broke that article about the secret government program studying UFOs. So in a way, I talked to even Avi Loeb about that. That first interstellar object may have precipitated or coincidentally was the first scout to this next phase of disclosure that began on December 16th, 2017, when the New York Times said there's this secret government program. So I think whether it's coincidental or whether it's planned, we're on the threshold of a next level of this awakening. And November 21st, the latest movie on disclosure is going to be released, The Age of Disclosure, which is a real breakthrough on the government side of what's really going on. So just be prepared for a rude awakening, planet Earth, humans, because things are not what we thought they were, and it's a good thing for that. So that's my little spiel.
Beautiful. We'll hear more from Alan. And to find all about Alan, I want to encourage everybody, not now, but when the show's over, go to YouTube and go to New Realities. And Alan has got so many amazing interviews. There's us. There's the show going on right now because he always carries the awakening world. There's his interview with Avi Loeb. And you can find all sorts of things. There's shorts, full view, just amazing. And
I have a big event coming up in Sedona. I'm going to put that in the chat because it's the Sedona Ascension Retreat in March. And of course, we'll also be in LA. But the Sedona Ascension Retreat is something I'm really excited about. Chris Blutzo is going to be there.
wow.
Diane Pennessy is going to be there. We really started the whole telepathy tape thing. It's really going to be an all-star cast.
And you're doing with Suzanne again?
Yeah, Suzanne. So come. I hope you can be there, Scott.
Yeah, I'll try and make it up to
that. Dahlia, who can see through her blindfolds, is going to be there in Sedona. She is a miracle. To watch her totally blindfold, read shapes, cards.
We'll promote Sedona as we get closer to Sedona.
But I'm excited about everything's going on. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that we'll probably do a show just about the Sedona Ascension Retreat because we do that every year. So, all right. I think it's time for us to have an experience. And so I'm going to play a video that our beloved John Martin put together for us just for tonight. He put this video together for us tonight. And I'm really grateful for that. Many of you have seen John's videos before, but for those of you who haven't, John goes out, he plays guitar, he talks to the stars, he talks to our galactic family. This is a model of how we all should talk to each other. The level of love, kindness, open-heartedness that John expresses to our galactic family. And then he's rewarded by seeing ships in the sky every night, practically. It's a beautiful modeling for all of us. So I invite you to kick back, enjoy the music, enjoy John's voice, and take a look at some of what John gets to watch when he goes out and looks.
And Scott, on this one, this is a little different from the videos I've made before. I'm concentrating on the aeroglyphs on this one, so I'm asking people to use their discernment and their intuition because there's no manual. When you see these creations in the sky, you have to interpret it yourself. So often, I can't imagine how many I've missed that they've created. And so this is a new form of communication that we all can tap into. And so there's at the beginning, there's just a few pictures of me with President Carter. He was a big influence for me. I spoke to him about UFOs over our dinner in Spain, and I wrote to him about the cross and crescent shaped craft and the purple craft with a pink ring. And he wrote me a lovely note back, and I treasure that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and my dog Jasmine Bear jumped up. She wants.
Hey, Jasmine.
She's eager to see the aeroglyphs. She wants to see the aeroglyphs. So
I may have to play a Jasmine ring for her then.
all right. All right. Well, let's take a look. Thank you, John. Here we go.
And there is a recent interaction too, just to give you a taste as well.
Already. Hey, beautiful ones. So lovely to see you tonight. Thank you. Whoa! My beautiful star family. Hey, gorgeous. Thank you. Wow. That was so beautiful. Thank you, lovely ones. Thank you so much. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you, beautiful ones. That's amazing. All the cross and crescent shape crop circles that seems to be a very important message from them. And the star with the president. You see in the background, they made a perfect star for me in the park. Being that came on Easter Monday 2019. See the portal off to the right. Beautiful hummingbird that was created. Felt like an actual heart.
looking up, I received that message from them. And the hawks are a big part of this. They're always around the hieroglyphs as well. The heart turned into that beautiful dove. This is right above the picnic table that I project from. This beautiful heart as well. And that was during a difficult period. They made this impacted heart. You can see the craft below it. And this lovely energy was above my home. The cross. After a difficult period, it's like a phoenix rising. This was the ISS. You can see this craft. It's kind of a green oblong shape right here that came directly over the park, and it was rotating on its axis as it flew over. This is my dog, Bodie. He was always with me. And they made this kind of stylized little dog, I felt like, over the park for him. When he passed, beautiful energies came that night. And it was really Someone asked about the purple plasma craft with the pink ring. That was the first craft that came over my home. After I had dinner with President Carter, we talked about UFOs, his experience and mine, and I used that idea in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and I started projecting as I was playing guitar out on my deck. And within 2 or 3 sessions, that beautiful purple plasma craft with a pink ring was sitting about 20 feet above my home. It was just absolutely amazing. And they've come many, many times. And so anyway, this was a little different, Scott, but I wanted to share.
Oh, it's lovely. I'm going to bring up some of our presenters to see just kind of some of their responses. Andrea, I think this is probably the first time you've experienced John and his videos. I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts. Bring up Diara, Steve, Alan, any of our presenters. What comes up for you as you watch this beautiful collection and beautiful music that John's provided us?
Well, I think John is the next level of human, really, who can really open his heart and make contact with these beings and the rest of the cosmos. And we had a planetary civilization like what we're seeing here, we'd be one. We'd know who these other beings are because they just want to be loved like us. We want to love and love. Yeah.
And I think if we all approach it from our own unique perspective, the universe will reflect back and curate the experience for each one of us. We're all like fingerprints. We are so unique, and the universe would be just thrilled to have millions of us. Can you imagine how that elevates society in this world and really resolve so many challenges that Nina was speaking about as well, too?
And it takes a lot of deep inner work to do this, to have that level of consciousness, to be able to love at that unconditional level that is still new to us as a species. And I've been in a deep conversation about releasing, fear of anything other, maybe certain insects that startle. I've also been looking at, the unitive narrative, and how do we reconcile that when we still need to do things here on Earth? Like I was talking about, when we clean, we use solutions that kill bacteria, and yet that's still a part of us. So how do we reconcile that? And when we can be with the other as if it truly was ourselves, then we'll be ready for these other beautiful beings to come closer to us so that they're safe with us here.
Beautiful.
John, I just was fascinated with your conversations. You are the first UFO whisperer that I've ever met.
I say thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Steve.
I just want to say that I really appreciate that video because I every night I go out to the and I commune with the stars and look at the sky, but we are evolving into luminous beings, and we're getting more solar flares. That's the photons are our DNA is changing. We're changing. We're evolving, and we are ascending. And not everybody will ascend, though. Some people just want to stay petrified where they are in the consciousness they have. But I just wanted to share that what happens when you do, live in this connection with Source and Mother Earth and align your energy is life is filled with magic and synchronicities. I went to Mexico last winter to show my documentary film, and I was guided by spirit to always invite a shaman. And I didn't know where I was going to find a shaman, but I always find one because I just know that's because I was guided to do that. And I saw a poster of a shaman. I said, that's my shaman, but I didn't know how to reach him. I ended up meeting a woman and she knew him and she arranged a meeting. And he said to me, he's a traditional shaman, a Mexican, shaman Mayan. And he said, his name was Jesus. And I felt like I knew him for 10,000 years. And he said to me, Andrea, I knew you were coming. He said, 4 years ago, Spirit told me that a white woman with eyes the color of the sky would come and ask me to share her message, which is what I was doing. And then we spent time together because he was doing ceremonies every day, singing, praying to the water. And then another synchronicity that I'll just share quickly is that then when I went on the plane to Puerto Vallarta, a woman next to me, we both started doing Reiki as we took off. So we engaged in conversation. And she said she was an Ironman. I said, well, you might be interested in my film. We ran 4,000 kilometers for peace and environmental awareness. And I showed her the image and she went, oh my God, Andrea. She goes, 4 years ago, I had a dream that a white woman with Scottish ancestry and blue eyes was going to teach me about spiritual running. And I do have Scottish ancestry and I do have blue eyes, and the film is about spiritual running. And again, I felt like one connection after the other, after the other. I feel like we've known each other for 10,000 years and we are coming back together. That's why I found you guys now. I'm so happy to find Global Peace Tribe because we're all reconnecting and remembering who we are and what we came from. And it's in our DNA and it's in our dreams. It's in our subconscious. We just have to bring it forth.
Beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you. Well, one of the wonderful things that we do on Global Peace Tribe now is every show we have some prayer time. And so we are now coming to that time. So I'm going to bring up Diara and Desiree. And I know that Dr. Laura had a special prayer that she wanted. So Dr. Laura, maybe pop in the chat box, so it's kind of towards the top of the chat box, who you wanted us to bring into prayer. But ladies, I'd love to hear any comments you have about tonight's show. And of course, then lead us into our prayer.
Thank you. One thing I'll share and then hand our talking stick to beautiful Desiree. We were speaking this morning and we were talking about the Three-Eye Atlas. And we were talking about how so many different people perceived it differently, just as we saw tonight when we were discussing. And it truly is a reflection of who we are, the way that we see those things. Some of us were excited and open, and others fearful and closed. So that was a perfect example of that.
Totally agree. Thank you. And thank you everybody for everything you shared tonight. I am learning so much. I appreciate it. I know personally in my meditations, a lot of the seeders and the planners have been coming in. So I know we're in a huge transition time, and I wonder if it has something to do with 3i or not. But I always find that absolutely fantastic and fascinating all in one. So I'd like to just start with this prayer time. Um, Looks like we're going to pray for Paulina, just a woman who needs a little bit of medical or has some medical problems, and some healing light and love would help. We can definitely do that. So all together, let's take a nice big breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bring in that angelic light language, clearing the energy around us. Seeing sparkles come down on each one of your guys' heads as a form of healing. I just asked, can we translate a little bit from 3i Atlas? They said, hear the words that we speak. You can feel in your hearts what is laid before you. Love, DNA upgrades, and messages from divine. As we go through this time of transition, and anchor in what is deep within our hearts. We will begin to see more. As we hold you close, you can hear us from afar. As we bring in that which lays before you. Love, anchoring in. Thank you.
So beautiful. And this morning I was saying to someone else that this really is star language. And there's so many different dialects. Shamitite sikena ashwina hete, molete nishwatena aswa putaena, koshomi kalasitina aswati amashwa, kositina kaha. And just embracing all of humanity in this beautiful upgrade, Shakima aswitana ala kitata noaya. And loving, loving, loving ourselves deeper, deeper, deeper than ever, so we can share that out into the world. We bless each other in this room. We bless everyone in our tribe. We're so, so grateful to be alive at this time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you. And remember the value of prayer throughout the day. And my favorite prayer from Yogananda, maximum grace. whoever it is that we want to pray for, maximum grace. Because none of us know what's really best for someone, but maximum grace. It's grace that creates the miracles. It's grace that creates the healing. And we are graced to have Nina Gray with us tonight. And I'm going to roll right into turning it back over to Nina.
A song called May I See Love. May I see love. May I see love. May I see love, 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 love. May I speak love. May I speak love. May I speak love, 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 love. May I stay open. May I stay humble. May I stay true to what's so much bigger than me. May I show mercy. May I practice forgiveness for all of my friends, myself, and all my enemies. May I see love. May I see love. May I see love, 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 love. May I speak love. May I speak love. May I speak love, 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 love. May my kindness not be taken for weakness. May my strength always be rooted in grace. May I see through all these masks we're faking. May I see innocence when I see your face. May I see love. May I see love. May I see love, 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 love. May I speak love. May I speak love. May I speak love, 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 love. And I know I may not always get it right. I know I may not always see the light, but I know I'll always try. Every day of this one and precious life, may I see love. May I speak love. May I sing love. May I serve love. May I see love. May I speak love. May I sing love. May I serve. May I serve. May I see love. May I speak love. May I sing love. And may I serve love. May I see love. May I speak love. May I sing love. And may I serve. May I serve love. Thank you so much. Sending love out to everyone.
Yeah, that's the message. That's like, that is the message. Thank you
Mhm.
so much.
Thank
Hey, I got a
you.
question for you, Nina. I'm actually was looking on your website and I can't find your Patreon page anywhere.
You know, I haven't been as active on Patreon, but
Because
almost
I
two
was a
years into.
member, and then I was going to promote your Patreon, and I can't find it anywhere.
You know, if I'm actively providing music and offerings, then I keep it active. But I moved to New York 2 years ago from California, and I'm with a agency called the Child Center of New York, and doing creative arts activities with the foster youth that we work with out here. So I've been one step outside of my full-time artistry, and just active in this space. So the invitation to come and share music is a welcomed one,
Oh,
and I'm so happy to be back, and I probably will be back in more full swing with songwriting and making music soon, in a season
we
soon.
need you, music. Your voice is just really, truly one of my all-time famous favorites. And this, like the song you just sang right now, it's it. It's like what this show is about. It's what Love Coach Academy is about. It's what matters. It's just being
Oh,
loved, serving loves. Thank you. Thank you.
thank
We
you for
played
the.
your we did a show a few months ago for Gay Pride Month. And I love that video that you created. So we played that video, that
Oh,
wonderful,
thank
wonderful video.
you. Thanks for sharing it. And I know we all have, we've all experienced that phenomenon of being channels and being alchemizers, and just being used, and with these incoming frequencies and phenomenons and this interstellar activity. It feels so apparent that the way we receive what is here to be received is to calibrate to the frequency of love.
That's
It
exactly.
allows us to be channels and allows us to be available. So may we continue to do that, and God bless the spaces that amplify the frequency. So
Mm,
thank you for creating this space and welcoming us all in.
pleasure.
Forever grateful.
There's a question for you. Dr. Laura's asking, Nina, do you get to sing with the kids?
I do. Every week we have singing and songwriting class, and we play with different topics and songs and karaoke. And yeah, these kids are incredible. I know a lot of words are used like under served, underprivileged, undervalued, but the word I use is underestimated, because after a lot of what these kids have been through, they have developed real deep attuned soul gifts to anchor in these bodies at this earth at this time, moving through lots of contrast at a young age, and their antennas are up, their skills are vibrant and potent, and they're really creative beings that inspire me every day.
Mhm. Well, thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for the wonderful work you do. And most of all, thanks for just being Nina Gray in this lifetime.
Oh, thank you, Scott Thomas, in this lifetime.
Oh, God bless you.
Gratitude.
Uh, well, we're close to done. We're going to have a wonderful meditation to close, an opportunity for us all to tune in and connect. But it's Global Peace Tribe announcements, and we have a very exciting announcement. We are going to bring in Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to close it in a very special way. Last week we had cornflower on the show, and people were saying, we want more cornflower. We need more cornflower. And everybody loves Swami Beyond Ananda. So I'm really excited to announce that on Sunday, November 30th, we're going to have a special Global Peace Tribe event 90 minutes or so with Cornflower playing music and Swami Beyondananda providing wit, wisdom, and all those things that he does. And to help kick it off, tonight's the night that we're announcing it, he's here himself. Welcome, our beloved Swami Beyondananda.
Well, thank you for convening this amazing event. It was out of this world, let me tell you. Now, I want to give the bigger picture. You know, every year I give the State of the Universe address, and the State of the Universe, ever changing, same as always. And of course, the universe is expanding. This year, they actually had to let the photon belt out a notch, okay? Now, people are talking about the end of the Kali Yuga, and yet they're going, why are things still that way? Well, because things don't end like that. There's a gradual end. We are kind of in this cusp area, which is called the border Kali Yuga. We're in that border Kali Yuga. And the age of Aquarius, well, we're still in the age of nefarious. We still are stuck there. You know, when the goon moves into Lincoln's house and Stupider aligns with Mars, we're still there. But we are moving, and there's a great astrological conjunction that's happening. Pluto is conjunct with the 7 little dwarf planets, and that is why things are so goofy. That's what's going on right now. Now we are looking at at the great unknown. This is really a time when the veils are being lifted. And the irony curtain is coming down, where we're seeing all of the beliefs that we've lived by falling apart. And of course, I've said this many times, love lives in the heart. Truth lives in the heart. Beliefs lie in your head. And so the best way to access the love in your heart and release the lies in your head is by laughing. So I'm hoping that you will join us on November 30th. We're going to laugh, laugh, laugh till the sacred cows come home. And of course, music by Cornflower. What could be better? It's not wheat, it's corn. But it's hardcore corn.
Thank you very much, Swami, for visiting us. Say hello to your buddy Steve. We appreciate that he was with us tonight as well. And we're going to have a great time on November 30th. And I put the link into the chat box. Everybody, please make sure you register. It's going to be a really fun way. And that's, again, Sunday following Thanksgiving weekend. So it's going to be a wonderful way to kind of say goodbye to Thanksgiving and prepare for the holy days. And remember, the true meaning of Christmas, my birthday.
Huh?
All right. I want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. And we're going to close with the way we began. Carolyn Brouillard, who kind of inspired me to do this show, and she has recorded with me a brief little meditation. And so I want to invite everybody to kind of get comfortable, get ready. And this is going to be an opportunity for us all to drop in and have our own direct connection, if you will, to 3I Atlas. So that's how we're going to close, and I'll come back and say goodnight after this video. Okay, so we've heard a lot of different points of view and perspectives, but now's the most important part of the show, an opportunity for each and every one of us to drop in and have our own imagining of what this extraordinary object may be and what it represents to us. And so we're back with Carolyn, who's going to lead us on a meditation.
Thank you, Scott. I'd like to invite everyone to get comfortable, start settling the mind, and be in a position where you have some contact with the ground. I'd like you to imagine roots emerging from the bottom of your feet, penetrating down through the earth, through the crust, and connecting in to the heart light of the earth. Here we find our grounding. From this light, I want you to imagine it flowing up through those roots, entering the bottoms of your feet. Pull that light up and through your ankles, your knees, your root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus. And let's pause for a moment in the heart. This is where we can set an intention for this meditation and for this communication. We call light to ourselves. We ask that the consciousness of Three Eye Atlas reveal itself in this meditation and guide us toward our greatest good. We open the channel in love, respect, and joy for what is ahead. With this light in the heart, it travels up into the throat and rising up to the third eye where it pauses again. You can breathe into your third eye. Imagine it like an aperture on a camera opening up to let in more light. Think of it like the exposure of more light to ourselves and what we are sending back out. This will be our point of connection with Three Eye Atlas, three eye to three eye. I want you to bring that light back up through the crown of your head, becoming a beam out into the all that is. From this grounded, balanced space, we come back to the third eye. And we invite Three Eye Atlas to come closer. We cast our consciousness out into the field, trusting that it's finding its match in what we're calling Three Eye Atlas. Take a deep breath here. As this consciousness, this being, this energy approaches, notice how you feel. What feelings come alive in your body? Is there excitement? Is there tension? Is there relief? Feel into what you are experiencing. I invite you now to apply your senses to Three Eye Atlas. How does it feel to you? Is there anything that you can see? If you were to reach out and touch it, what would it feel like? What are you perceiving? Give yourself a moment to look around the object, through the object, to meld your consciousness with that of Three Eye Atlas. Perhaps you have a question you'd like to ask. As you ask it from love, take a moment to be open to the answer. Paying attention to any sensations in your body. Remember to breathe. As we bring the meditation to a close, is there anything that you would like to share with Three Eye Atlas? What is your message? We can come together now and thank this consciousness for connecting with us, for bringing us on a journey into the infinite of our own inner cosmos. Can thank Three Eye Atlas and ourselves for partnering in mystery and discovery and co-creation. Everything that is perceived by us, we are in co-creation with. Now I invite you to imagine that beam of light from your head receding back into your body. Invite you to pull your energy back from your third eye. Start closing the aperture. And letting the roots that we put down into the earth dissolve. Take another deep breath. And so it is. Thank you.
I would love to see what some of your connections are. So if anybody wants to put into the chat box what they felt, what they experienced, let me know. And I will read some of the messages. And already there's one coming in from Dr. Laura. She writes, I got a very strong message. The Three Eye Atlas has been sent by a very ancient high-level civilization as a scout ship. It is absolutely a messenger or announcement that we will be visited soon. Not tomorrow, but soon in the cosmos way of speaking. Dear R is sending love and gratitude to Caroline. Carol Craig writes, I have a deep curiosity about Three Eye Atlas, and I welcome any and all help it may be able to share with our Earth and its inhabitants. TR writes, thank you, Three Eye. All I feel is a deep, quiet love laced with joy and anticipation of miracle magic. Beautiful. Susan writes, I felt amusement in that this is a very big, obvious intrusion and brings light upon the universe which is being inhabited. Well, thank you, everybody, for being with us. One more time, thank you, Andrea, for joining us. Thank you, Desiree and Diara and Swami Steve. You never know quite which one you're going to get, but we love and appreciate both of them. And of course, our Making Contact master, Alan Steinfeld, our beautiful role model, John Martin, and all of you, all of our friends in gallery view, have your cameras on. Welcome. Thank you very much. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Take a look. What do we got coming up next week? I haven't made the posters yet, but I can tell you what we're going to be doing. Give me a second. And I've just been so in the present time. What do we got coming up here on Wednesday? Oh, well, yeah, this is going to be great. So on Wednesday, November 12th, we are going to learn all about the sovereignty movement and how we all can become independent and sovereign. We're also going to meet a wonderful woman who's made a very special movie that just is coming out. So that's on Wednesday. And then on Saturday night, we're going to have some of our new generation members. Tatiana will be playing music, and Marley and Elena, all with what they're doing. And that's going to be really kind of a special show all about some of the next generation of awakening world leaders. And then the following Wednesday, the 19th, Omushar is back, and we're doing the show all about the Pleiades and all about Arcturus with Vivian Chavez and Marguerite Rigoglioso, and my co-host will be Eden Amadora. So that's what we've got coming up over the next 10 days. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Trudy is with us. Wherever Swami goes, Trudy tends to be around, or wherever Trudy goes, Swami tends to be around. Havala, who's just on the show, is with us. That's exciting. Connie and Andrew, Karen S., all of you. Now, if I don't name somebody, I'm going to feel bad. So big love to each and every one of you. It's good to see you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Scott. Thanks, everybody.
Hope to see you on Wednesday.
Bye-bye.